Well, thank you for tuning in a very chilly Davos morning today. And we continue to talk to top global leaders about how they feel about the world economy and their exposure to India and what they feel about India. And in line with that, Mr. George Oliver is the chairman and CEO of Johnson Controls, joins us right now. Mr. Oliver, thank you so much for speaking to us
It's
today.
great being with you today, Raj.
Thank you. So tell us a bit about Johnson Controls. What do you do, and
Sure.
a bit about your India exposure as well.
Yeah, Johnson Controls, we're a leader in building solutions. So when you look at our company, it's built on our products. So we have HVAC products, building controls, fire security, and that's the heritage of our business. And then so we lead through our technology, and heat pumps, for instance, is a big contributor to being able to reduce carbon in buildings. So it's products, it's then our ability to be able to then deploy our engineering and configure solutions that ultimately address some of the bigger problems that our customers are trying to solve.
Okay.
So when you look at what we do in Johnson Controls, the key secular drivers, so big focus on sustainability and decarbonization. Buildings represent about 40% of the global carbon. And so for us, it's an opportunity to leverage our technology with our products, and now with our digital platform, which is OpenBlue, our data platform, we can enable a building now to reduce energy 30, 40, 50%. And so our baseline of ours is the technology in our products, and then with our digital platform, OpenBlue, which we launched 3 years ago, which enables us to actually address sustainability. It also addresses a big secular trend with healthy buildings. With the pandemic, it's important that we elevate the indoor environmental quality. And then with the digital technology that we deploy, we ultimately create an autonomous building. And so as we now look at what's happening globally, we're very bullish on what's going to happen in our industry going forward. We're seeing that today. And so as we configure our solutions for our customers, we can now address their sustainability goals while we're delivering efficiency and returns for them.
So the long term certainly looks good. I was wondering whether the short term there are some issues around what could be happening to world growth.
When you look at our space, as I said, with the focus on sustainability, with buildings representing 40% of the global carbon, you can't achieve your net zero goals without addressing the building. And so for us, it's our ability to be able to not only address that, but at the same time elevating the indoor environmental quality with what we do with our HVAC combined with our digital platform that enables us to be able to create an outcome that historically hasn't been achieved. And then I think as buildings become much more digital, it enables us to be able to now, with our digital technologies, really now capitalize on that trend. So it's those secular trends that no matter what happens economically, with the problems that we can now solve with our technology and our capabilities, that we're uniquely positioned as Johnson Controls to do that.
Great. Do the recent supply chain disruptions that the world has seen over the last 12 months, are they easing? Did they impact you, and are you in a better shape now?
Well, let's face it, right? What happened with the pandemic, and then obviously the significant demand that occurred after the pandemic, and then with lead times that got expanded in some cases double or triple, that certainly disrupted supply chains. And so we immediately began to re-strategize, as far as where we position our supply chain, local for local, and then making sure that we're going to be more resilient, more redundant with our suppliers. And we've made good progress. We see now it improving. Certainly initially it was a big challenge around microchips and semiconductors. We've worked with our suppliers and our partners to be positioned in a much better way going forward, and that's been recovering. And then as we look at the other components, making sure that we are getting, like I said, the resiliency and the redundancy across the board in all of the key markets that we ultimately produce our products in. And so it is improving, and I'm encouraged that with the growth that we're seeing, that we're going to be positioned to be able to support that growth.
Great. Talk to us about your India exposure. What do you do in India, and how do you expect that to move ahead?
I mean, we're very bullish on India. I had the opportunity to engage with the Commerce Minister, Piyush Goyal, recently, and really educating on what the opportunity is and what we can do. We have a large footprint today. We have over 6,000 of our colleagues that are in India. It is our largest R&D center, supporting our OpenBlue digital platform, as well as enhancing the products that we ultimately bring to market in India. And so what we see is significant economic growth, and then with being able to differentiate how buildings are going to be built, how they're going to be serviced, how ultimately we can improve the performance of buildings. we see a tremendous opportunity. So we've been working to partner with India and making sure that we've got the right footprint, the right technology, and more important, the right people locally to be able to deliver what we can do.
Great. My final question would be manufacturing, capex, R&D. Everything is getting diverse. There is a lot of conversation about nearshoring versus offshoring and different markets opening up as well. So for Johnson Controls, from what the footprint is currently, how do you expect it to shape up? And would India, I'm not saying it should, but I'm just asking, would India play a part in some of those as well?
Well, it has been playing a part. We have
already, yes,
4 of our manufacturing sites that are in India. Like I said, with the products that we manufacture, and then with the technology with our digital platform, we're setting up digital hubs across the globe. So we're localizing our footprint to be able to be positioned to serve the key markets we serve. And India is a big market for us. And so we've been investing, we've been expanding our manufacturing footprint, we've been expanding our partnerships, we've been engaged strategically with the government to make sure that we're aligned to being able to support what we see to be the demand. And so that's not just for India, but we do the same in other key markets that we serve pretty much across the globe. So I think I'm excited based on what we're doing and how we're transforming Johnson Controls, that we're now becoming what we historically have done, leading sustainability through our equipment. We now have taken all of that success that we've had over 135 years.
Wow.
And now we're combining that with a leadership digital platform, which is OpenBlue. And what it does, it allows us to take buildings that historically have had systems that have operated kind of separate and apart. And although you can optimize at that level, our ability now with our OpenBlue platform allows us to take all of the data, we can bridge to all of the systems, and then what you do, you take that data and you optimize for the outcome.
Oh, got it.
And the outcome, the focus with the secular trends that I was talking about is not only elevating the indoor environmental quality, at the same time that you're reducing the energy consumed to support that building by, you can reduce it 30–40%.
Wow.
And so that's what excites me in our ability to be able to really address the global climate, climate challenge that we're all facing, and where buildings play such an important role. We have the technology and innovation today to actually solve the problem.
My final question, for what's the expectation from the Indian policymakers to enable you to take an even bigger and a bolder decision in India?
Yeah, so I mean, we're working very closely to identify what the opportunity is and the impact that we can have, and we're getting good alignment with the decision makers. I'm involved in different forums within India, the U.S.-India Strategic Partners Forum.
Yes.
We've been very active with Invest India, and so we're very much aligned in making sure that we're working together. I think as we're working to solve these problems, it's the private sector coming together with the public sector, having alignment to what we're ultimately setting out to achieve, and then with the right policy, with the right incentives, and then the right commitments that companies are making to R&D, to expanding our footprint, then that's what's going to drive the success.
So you're happy with the policy making in India currently, in terms of the support that the government is giving to global companies?
We have been very active in getting tremendous support
Great.
with the government and what we're doing to really be positioned to be able to support what we see to be tremendous growth in India, and to do it in a sustainable manner, and being able to build the buildings of the future,
Sure.
as well as one of the big opportunities for us is to look at the existing built environment, because that built environment, much of that is going to be in operation.
Sure.
As we've all faced the commitments of getting to net zero by 2050, that we can have a significant impact on the current built environment by deploying not only the upgrades in our equipment, but deploying the digital platform that enables us to ultimately automate the building and fundamentally change the outcomes.
Lovely talking to you, Mr. Oliver. Thank you so much, and
Great
look forward to
speaking
seeing
with you.
you in India.
Look forward to it.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you for talking to us today, and have a great remainder of Davos.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. And viewers, thanks for tuning in.